And Assistant Secretary Strickland, thank you for being here as well. I have a grantee in my district that benefit from the Recovery Act broadband grants, the Ocean State Higher Action Education Economic Development and Administrative Network, or OSHEAN, and it is using $21.7 million in American Recovery and Reinvestment broadband funds administered by NTIA to build a fiber optic network that will span over 350 miles in length. And this obviously has huge value and benefits in the creation of the network, but I wondered if you would talk a little bit about what you see as the long-term positive impact on communities of this kind of investment, which is maybe not immediately apparent to everybody when we make these investments.
Sure. So our philosophy in making that grant, and it's a good example of what we call the comprehensive community type of grant that we made primarily in our second round of funding in 2010, where we focused on middle mile build out. We expressly did not look to fund the mass market last mile provision of services, but instead focused it on getting the fiber built from the Internet exchange points into communities where then private enterprise could step in and build out and serve the homes and businesses in those communities. As part of the project in Rhode Island, because of the high speed demands of educational institutions, we are also connecting a number of those anchor institutions directly off of the project that is being built in Rhode Island. In terms of how we see this playing out, and I mentioned this in my opening remarks, we really think this is priming the pump for private investment in the sense that the government has provided funding to build the middle mile. It has open network requirements so that any provider, whether it's a large incumbent or a small new entrant, can get access to that capacity to offer their own services. And so if we have a wireless Internet service provider that wants to put up a tower and serve a community, they can do it very cheaply, very effectively, because one of the major barriers to entry of a company like that is getting the transport back to an Internet exchange point, and our projects provide that. So we're already seeing that. As I mentioned, I think over 400 interconnection agreements have been signed already across the country with our projects, and every one of those gives an opportunity to private business to step up, take advantage of this investment, and use it to provide services on their own within their community. So we see this multiplying over time as other companies are able to take advantage of this investment.
Thank you. I mean, that's precisely what happened in Rhode Island. Was this public investment led to a great public-private partnership and a substantial leveraging of that investment, which I think is happening in other places around the country. But thank you, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.